Yesterday, I hit a goal of mine that I set a little over 2 years ago. I hit 1400 ELO rating in chess, specifically in the rapid time format on chess.com. When it happened, I was overcome with a strangely euphoric feeling. I've honestly never felt anything like it before. Again, it was strange. I had first set this goal on June 30th, 2020, around the time when the first PogChamps had ended. I had chosen 1400 specifically because of Hutch, one of the finalists on the championship bracket for the event. I was a fan of his, simply put. He gave me my second win for the game, so to speak, a few years before, but I had chosen not to get back into chess at that time because I was bad and I didn't know where to start learning. I should say that I was first introduced to the game of chess around 5 years old, if my memory serves me right. My great-grandfather showed my brother and I how to move the pieces and how to play. I would continue to play chess sporadically until I was 9. When I moved to the US and the classmates I had simply didn't have an interest in chess, and in turn, I lost interest. To go back to what I consider my third win in 2020, during the first 8 months of playing chess on a constant basis, progress was made. I went from 300 to 1250 rating. At that point, I genuinely thought reaching 1400 was going to be a breeze. That 2 to 4 months later, I would hit the goal I had set for myself. How wrong I was. I could barely stay around 1200 for a year. During that time, I had come to realize one thing that held me back. I didn't have an opening with the black pieces, so I tried to find one. First, I attempted to simply use my opening as white, but being the black pieces, obviously. And that failed. Next, I looked up videos on my opening as white, but being the black pieces. Thanks Gotham Chess, by the way, but sadly that also failed. Then lastly, I tried to learn a whole new opening as the black pieces. Again, thank you Levy. And for a while it worked a little, but I couldn't crack above 1250, so technically a fail, but technically a success. As that occurred, my bullet addiction was at its highest, so I had little patience to learn. I eventually got so frustrated at my lack of progression that I essentially shifted the blame on chess.com rather than my own inadequacies because of the fact that I had noticed I had more games as black than white. So, I quit chess.com. I moved to Lichess. A few months later, I obviously started playing on chess.com again. Now I play on both. I continued playing until I made the decision in January 2022. I decided to take an extended break away from chess. Until June, I played very sporadically. What ultimately made me go on this break was an interaction I had. As I was struggling to get the win in a better position, my opponent messaged me mid-game in the chat about how it doesn't make any sense that I had a high rating in puzzles with my low rating in comparison. Now, to speak about the elephant in the room, chess puzzles and my progression in that particular avenue. Thinking back on it now, I think my extremely quick rise in that area contributed to my lack of patience at the time I quit chess.com. I was around 1800 before leaving, and after returning 3 months later, I reached 2170. When that random opponent messaged me, I was 2268 in puzzles and 1187 in blitz, the time format we were playing in. His words left an imprint on me. When I had returned to chess in June, I knew several things were needed to be done. 1. Finding an opening with black that fits my style of chess. 2. Actually implement what I learned in chess puzzles into my chess matches. 3. Have patience. So, I did all those things. As a King Xinian player, I finally got the hang of the perk defense, or the modern, whatever you want to call it. I actively started to plan within my matches in order to get puzzle-like positions in order to win. also make me realize I'm an extremely tactical and aggressive chess player that likes chaotic positions. Lastly, I reached my goal of 1400 in one of the slower time formats in chess, Rapid. Honestly, now, I'm terrified to lose that rating, but I will have to constantly remind myself that at the end of the day, it is ultimately just a number. A number that means a lot to me, admittedly, but a number nonetheless. Now, I will go make breakfast. July 21st, 5 a.m.